This story is Hey Papa Dude, Can We Take a Road Trip? By Papa Dude. Hit the road with Papa Dude and Charlie Crab. It's amazing just how many fun places you can visit when you take a road trip. Some of the best trips are probably just a few hours away from right where you live. You don't need to fly across the country or around the world to visit some of the most interesting places you can imagine. That's what makes a road trip so special. All you have to do is jump in the car with your family and hit the road. So are you ready to take an amazing road trip with me and Charlie? We're going to have so much fun traveling down the highways and back roads of America. Well, pack your bags and buckle your seatbelt because it's time to take a road trip that you'll never forget. On every page, Charlie talks, and so Charlie says, "Bags are packed and ready to go, Papa Dude." Charlie and I just love taking a road trip, and so do millions of families all across America. Did you know that most people who take a vacation in the United States travel by car? Some of the most popular places to visit on a road trip are the Florida beaches, Yellowstone National Park, and the Grand Canyon. What's your favorite vacation spot when you take a road trip? Charlie says, "I just can't wait to get on the road again." Now listen closely. The first thing you need to think about when you hit the road is that you have a full tank of gas. Make sure to check the air in the tires too. It's nice to drive down the road on a beautiful sunny day, but the weather can change in a hurry, so it's important to make sure you have everything you need to travel safely. And make sure to keep the speed limit. And Charlie, he's riding on top of the trailer and he says, "Are we there yet, Papa Dude?" Our first stop is the bayou country of Louisiana. Do you know what a bayou is? Well, it's actually slow-moving, swampy water from a river or lake. There are a lot of bayous in Louisiana too, nearly 3 million acres, mostly in the southern part of the state. These bayous are home to plenty of wildlife and especially alligators. Can you guess what they call the people who live on the bayou? If you guess Cajuns, you're right. Charlie Crab says, "Hey, Papa Dude, I think Gabby Gator likes me." And there's a little crawfish in the water. "Love that chef outfit, Papa Dude." Heading east from Louisiana, Charlie and I made it to the Florida Panhandle in just a few hours. We hit the beach from Pensacola all the way down to Miami and the Keys. Florida has so many great beaches along both the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. Almost everyone will tell you that Florida is home to some of the best beaches in America. And Charlie Crab says, "Hey, Papa Dude, grab that shovel and bury me in the sand." After a week of beachcombing and building sandcastles, we headed north to the border of North Carolina and Tennessee. That's where we found the Great Smoky Mountains. Did you know that the Smokies are among the oldest mountains in the world? It's a great place to go hiking and camping too. And here's a great fact for you. The first settler in the Smoky Mountains was a woman. And Charlie Crab, he's on top of the mountain and he says, "On top of old Smoky." Charlie Crab likes to sing sometimes. Charlie and I were having so much fun on our road trip that we couldn't wait for our next adventure. We made our way to northeastern Pennsylvania and discovered the Pocono Mountains. Did you know that the Poconos were famous for honeymoon getaways? Yep. There are lots of water parks in the region to visit, and you can stay in an old log cabin. And Charlie Crab, he's holding an axe, and he says, "Let's chop some wood, Papa Dude." We're on a great adventure, so we decided to make our way to the northeast corner of the USA. This region of the country is called New England, and it is made up of 6 states: Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. New England has a great history and was one of the earliest English settlements. In 1620, the Pilgrims first came ashore on land that is now Cape Cod and discovered a new world. And Charlie Crab, he's up in the top of a lighthouse and he says, "Hey, Papa Dude, meet my good buddy Louie Lobster." And Louie Lobster says, "Hiya, Papa Dude." Traveling west from New England, we're on our way to see the Great Lakes: Ontario, Erie, Huron, Michigan, and Superior. These lakes were formed thousands of years ago from huge glaciers. Did you know that the Great Lakes are the largest freshwater source in the entire world? Wow. And Charlie Crab says, "Hey, Papa Dude, great place to fill up my canteen." As we continue going west, we just had to stop in the South Dakota Black Hills to visit Mount Rushmore. It's hard to believe that over 400 workers were able to climb up the side of this mountain to carve the giant faces of 4 presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. The idea to carve the presidents into the side of a mountain was to bring tourists to South Dakota, and it worked. Today, 3 million people visit Mount Rushmore each year. And Charlie Kraft's on top of Abe's head, and he says, "Honest Abe never told a lie, Papa Dude." Did you know that Yellowstone is the world's first national park? When you visit the park, you may encounter one of many bears that call Yellowstone home. They may look cute, but be careful and stay away from any bear you see. One of the park's biggest attractions is Old Faithful.
Here we go.
This famous geyser got its name because you can pretty much count on it erupting every 90 minutes. And Charlie Kraft says, "That's a real gusher, Papa Dude." The Rockies are a huge mountain range in western North America that stretch from Canada all the way down to New Mexico. The highest point is Mount Elbert in Colorado, and nearby Pikes Peak is a major tourist attraction. The Rockies are great for hiking, river rafting, and playing in the snow. And Charlie Kraft, he's on a ski lift, and he says, "It's snow time, Papa Dude." We finally made it to the Pacific Northwest, which covers southwestern Canada, Washington, Idaho, and western Montana, Oregon, and northern California. Did you know that this area is famous for its volcanoes? Hiking up a volcano with your friends is cool. And Charlie Kraft says, "If I see smoke, I'm out of here, Papa Dude." Isn't this place amazing? This is Yosemite National Park. Charlie and I couldn't wait to set up our tents and camp out for the night. Yosemite is located in Northern California, and there's so much you can do here. You gotta check out the giant sequoias that are taller than any trees you've ever seen. And the waterfalls, they're incredible. And Charlie Kraft says, "It's nice and toasty around this fire." And he's roasting the marshmallow. Here we are on the scenic Pacific Coast Highway. Starting from California's northern border with Oregon, the road runs all the way down to San Diego. Much of the journey is an exciting ride with twists and turns hugging the rocky coast of the Pacific Ocean. And Charlie Kraft, he's riding on top of the car, and he says, "Hotel California, here we come." Hoover Dam is a historic national landmark located on the Colorado River on the border between Nevada and Arizona. This huge structure is one of the highest and most powerful dams in the world. It took over 5 million barrels of cement to build the dam. That's enough concrete to go across the USA. And Charlie Kraft, he's on top of the dam, and he says, "This is one huge water park, Papa Dude." Charlie and I are standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Did you know that the Grand Canyon National Park is bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island? Wow, that's big. Most people don't know this, but there's a tiny town located at the base of the canyon. Less than 300 people live there, and they still get mail delivered. The mailman has to ride on a pack mule. And Charlie Kraft, he says, "That's a long way down, Papa Dude." Have you ever been inside a cavern? It may look scary, but it's really fun. Charlie and I couldn't make a road trip without visiting Carlsbad Caverns National Park in New Mexico. There are over 100 caverns here that are millions of years old. I hope you like bats because thousands come out of the caves at night. And Charlie Kraft says, "You don't scare me, Mr. Bat." We couldn't take a road trip without driving down America's most famous roadway, Route 66. The road was built in the 1920s and stretched from Chicago to Los Angeles. It was really popular too. Even though some of the road has been taken over by major highways, it's still fun to travel like the good old days. Did you know that the first McDonald's opened in the 1940s on Route 66 in San Bernardino, California? And Charlie Kraft says, "Get your kicks on Route 66. Every road trip seems to pass through Texas. It's huge, only Alaska is bigger. Texas is famous for cowboys, cattle, the Alamo, and so much more. Everything in Texas is about being big, so make sure you stand up tall. And Charlie Crab, he's on the back of a cow, and he says, check out my 10-gallon hat, Papa Dude. Can we take a road trip, Papa Dude? Sure, we can take a road trip. Millions of people just like you hit the road every year in search of adventure. There are so many cool places to visit all across America, and some are just down the road from where you live. Charlie and I can't wait for our next great adventure. Just imagine all of the fun places we can go. So get out your maps and let's plan a great road trip. And Charlie Crab's on top of the car and he says, we're rocking down the highway, Papa Dude.
You are listening to Confetti Park, a podcast brought to you by ConfettiPark.com.